Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video. Still on the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation. We're going to check this together. So, this is from TMZ, which is quite interesting. And by now, lots of you almost already know about this. So, we're going to read this together from TMZ, and I'll love your thoughts and your contribution at the end of the video. Let's dive right in. So this is from TMZ with the headline: Justin Baldoni, PR rep files counterclaims against ex-boss, calls out bidder revenge ploy. Interesting. This is getting all the more interesting. So yeah, it is Justin Baldoni's PR rep Jennifer Abel is firing back at her former boss Stephanie Jones with her own lawsuit after being sued by Stephanie Jones in December. Abel has hired Baldoni's powerhouse lawyer, Bryan Freedman, who accuses Stephanie of triggering the whole legal drama between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively involving their film, It Ends With Us. Their film, his film, his film. Okay. Bryan Freedman is the man. Bryan Freedman is the man. Friedman filed the counterclaims on Abel's behalf against Jones, who's the CEO of PR company Jones Work, which still represents Justin. In a statement, Friedman tells TMZ it is undeniable that Stephanie Jones initiated this catastrophic sequence of events by violating the most basic of privacy rights as well as any remaining trust her clients held. Because how did those text messages like all of a sudden got to the hand of the other people? Did he disappear? Because I mean, there was a timeline following Justin Baldoni's lawsuit timeline and all that. Let's not forget it. Friedman says Stephanie is no stranger to stirring up crisis scenarios for departing clients, accusing her of maliciously turning over communications from the phone she wrongly took from her own partner to her cohort, Leslie Sloan, immediately after Jones was terminated for cause by Wayfarer due to her own wrongful behavior. Leslie, of course, is Blake's PR rep, who has also been sued by Baldoni. Friedman goes on to say Lively walked right into Miss Jones' ploy of bitter revenge against her most trusted employee at the expense of her own long-term client. Because what does not even make sense is your boss sharing your text message, because let's say your boss gets a hold of your phone and revealing your text messages all of a sudden gets revealed, and you are not the one holding the phone, but it gets revealed in a lawsuit. Like, think about it. So how did it appear there? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So this you all have a lot of explaining to do. The attorney ended with, we will not stop until our clients are cleared of all wrongdoings and compensated for the vast damages that they have incurred. Bryan Freedman is the man. Bryan Freedman is the man. And the new court docs filed Thursday, Abel responds to Jones' lawsuit against her, Baldoni, and Baldoni's PR crisis manager Melissa Nathan. Abel makes a bunch of counterclaims, including invasion of privacy, false light, and intentional inflict of emotional distress. As you know, Baldoni has filed a few major lawsuits in recent months, including the massive $400 million lawsuit he and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, filed against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and Leslie Sloan. In the suit, Baldoni claims the three started the smear campaign against him to take control of the movie It Ends With Us, because all of a sudden now it is not his movie, it is Lively's movie. Lively filed suit first against Baldoni in December, claiming that he sexually harassed her on the movie set and later embarked on a targeted smear campaign against her in the media. Christine Tyler, partner of Queen Emmanuel, who is representing Jones, tells TMZ Miss Jones' lawsuit is based entirely on facts and concrete evidence. That suit clearly shows that Jen Abel conspired with Melissa Nathan and others to steal reams of confidential documents, clients, and staff, and eventually attempt to destroy the business that Ms. Jones spent decades building. You guys really know your work. Oh, really, all these PR people, they know their work. They are doing amazing because they want to share a story to make believe, which is quite interesting, and they are really doing their work because I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. She continues, Abel, Nathan, Baldoni, and their co-defendants attempted to achieve these outcomes through bullying, distortion, and outright disparagement. These facts are backed up by dozens of messages provided in the suit we filed months ago and cannot be credibly disputed. Charla concludes with, having no facts or evidence, we see a familiar playbook. Smear our client called culminating in the work of fiction masquerading as the counterclaims that were filed yesterday. That is the last one. Because truth need to start revealing itself. Because how did somebody's text message all of a sudden was involved in a lawsuit? It is my phone, and you gave your phone to your boss or your boss asked for the phone before leaving the company, and now your text message exchange are being revealed somewhere or exposed somewhere. Like, it's not making sense. Make it make sense, right? So yeah, we're gonna check this one from Variety. Also, Justin Baldoni sues his former publicist Stephanie Jones, alleging she maliciously leaked text message that sparked legal battle with Blake Lively. Is it Justin Baldoni that is suing or Jennifer Abel? Justin Justin Baldoni and Jennifer Abel have filed a lawsuit against publicist Stephanie Jones in the latest salvo in the dizzying legal battle between the It Ends With Us director and star and Blake Lively. Jones represented Baldoni and his Wayfarer Studios last summer when press reports first emerged of a rift between the director and Lively. Abel was Jones' partner at Jones Work PR and running point on the Baldoni's account as speculations mounted about why Lively and some cast members have stopped following the director on Instagram. What happened next has become a matter of intrigue and resulted in the sprawling legal morass that has consumed Hollywood and sparked intense public interest. It is undeniable that Stephanie Jones initiated this catastrophic sequence of events by violating the most basic of privacy rights as well as any remaining trust her clients held. Baldoni's attorney Bryan Freedman said in a statement to Variety, no stranger to stirring up crisis scenarios for departing clients. Ms. Jones maliciously turned over communications with the phone from the phone she wrongfully took from her own partner to her cohort. Lively's personal publicist Leslie Sloan, immediately after Jones was terminated for cause by Wayfarers due to her own wrongful behavior. See, this is the thing. Lots of people who's never been held before accountable before, you see their pattern. And you know what's quite interesting is the fact that you see the people that are working with the livelies, they sort of have like similar traits, patterns. Don't ignore the patterns. The patterns are always there and they are going to lead you to somewhere, or they are going to lead you somewhere. That is what we keep saying, and it seems like it's leading us somewhere. The latest lawsuit portrays Jones as growing increasingly paranoid and rattled by negative press about her in outlets like Puck and Business Insider, as well as on an anonymous website that detailed her alleged treatment of employees and clients. Hmm? Patterns. One Puck column called Jones an erratic screamer and reported on a client exodus that included Dwayne Johnson and Lauren Sanchez. The complaint claims that Jones, who was relying on a sidekick, then plotted a revenge campaign against client Baldoni and partner Abel as they both announced their plan to exit Jones' work patterns. The latest complaint filed in New York federal court on Friday marks the sixth lawsuit involving the It Ends With Us parties. At the heart of the drama, Baldoni is suing and being sued by Lively over what happened on the set of and in the run-up to the release of 2020 of the 2024 domestic violence drama. The film became a surprise hit for Sony, earning $351 million at the box office worldwide off of a $25 million budget. In December, Lively filed a letter with the California Civil Rights Department in which she alleged that Baldoni sexually harassed her during the film's production in 2023 and carried out a 2024 smear campaign. The CRD letter, which is confidential, leaked to the New York Times and served as basis for the newspaper explosive report. You see this? You see this? Patterns, right? Patterns, because something about all of this. Listen, patterns. Well, let's continue. In his story, the Times wrote it had reviewed thousands of pages of text messages and emails that she obtained through a subpoena. The text messages all appear to have come from Abel's phone, which was seized in August 2024. Patterns. And following Justin Baldoni's timeline of event in his countersuit, you would notice the patterns. A few weeks after she informed Jones that she was leaving the agencies to start her own outfit. Patterns, right? Because I mean, how dare you leave? How dare you leave me and go start your own? So yeah, on August 21, 2024, 2 days before her last day, Abel arrived at the Jones work office in Beverly Hills, where she was confronted by a physically imposing security guard, a forensic data extraction technical expert, and an attorney sitting at the conference table awash in documents. The complaint states also present was Jones' chief of staff, Gordon Duran, who had flew in unannounced from New York, where Jones is based. The thing is, how many people are gonna be dragged or involved in this drama? That is something to take note of. How many people? People thought it was just two people. No, it wasn't just two people. Lots of people. Better be careful who you do business with. This is just what it means. You have to be careful. After being ushered into the conference room, Abel noticed that the security guard was posted just outside the doors, positioned between the conference room and the office entrance, blocking the exit. There, the attorney gestured at the documents and instructed Abel to review and sign them. The attorney stated that Jones Works suspected Abel had retained proprietary information on her personal laptop. Emma was told that Jones Work would have grounds to sue if she did not allow them access, but she gave them rights. The complaint adds that Abel, who was confident that her computer contained no such data, turned on turned over the device she was pressured to relinquish her phone. She agreed so long as they would confirm that Jones Work would immediately release her personal cell phone number, which would enable Jones Work to take possession of the physical device without gaining unrestrained access to its contents. To be frank, there are people that are just bad for business, right? Right, right. There are people that are just bad for business, and it starts with some people. The complaint continues after express confirmation from the Works chief of staff and attorney that they would release the phone number if she went straight to the Verizon store. Abel handed them the phone and was ushered out of the building as her colleagues watched in disbelief. Because yeah, if they do it to one person, they will do it to you. It's just that simple. You don't have two heads. If they do it to one person, they will definitely do it to you. That's just how it is. Sometimes it's good to ask questions. Sometimes it's just good to ask questions. And some people, really, I'm going to say it again, some people are just bad business and bad for business. Abel waited at a nearby Verizon store for Jones' work to release a personal cell phone number. After 4 hours of desperate unanswered calls, Abel left Verizon in panic and despair. The lawsuit claims that she realized Jones had double-crossed her in a very serious way by refusing to release Abel's phone number. Jones worked hard, usurped her contact information, and cut off Abel's access to critical accounts protected by two-factor authentication linked to that phone number. As a result, Abel lost access to her iCloud, including all her text messages, photos, and contacts, bank accounts, utilities, insurance, and virtually every other sensitive account. By contrast, Jones now have Jones now had unrestricted access to everything stored on Abel's phone: her text messages, emails, for personal photos. And the reason why they are stating this or they are writing this is because it is important for you to know how those text messages that were included in Blake Lively's original or first complaint or first lawsuit, how did they get it? Just how? How? All of that violated California labor laws covering Abel's employment, according to the lawsuit. On New Year's Eve, Baldoni and nine other plaintiffs. On New Year's Eve, Baldoni and nine other plaintiffs, including crisis publicist Melissa Nathan and Abel, sued the New York Times for $250 million for libel. Lively then sued Baldoni and the group for violating federal and California state law by retaliating against her for reporting sexual harassment and workplace safety concerns. The director subsequently sued Lively, that's Justin Baldoni, subsequently sued Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, because why did you people not include Justin Baldoni's name here? But we are seeing him as the director. So all of a sudden, he's the director. He's the director. Justin Baldoni subsequently sued Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, for $400 million. The suit for civil extortion, defamation, and other accounts. Sloan's stay for discovery in that case was denied today. This is quite lengthy. But Jones filed the first suit in the sprawling case in December for breach of contract, amongst other claims, that kicked off a legal back and forth that now involves three celebrities: Reynolds, the biggest of the three, Lively, and Baldoni; four publicists: Jones, Nathan, Abel, and Sloan; and as well as two It Ends With Us producers, Jamie Heath and Steve Saroris, and the social media guru in Texas, Jed Harris. It's Jed Harris Wallace, right? Lively's lawyer told Variety that he received a text message via a subpoena to Jones in a move that raised eyebrows. Nearly 3 months after the Times story dropped, it remains unclear on what grounds Jones would have required to turn over correspondence involving a client or former employee, given that no related lawsuit existed at that time. Question. Question. But again, question. Ms. Jones' December lawsuit is based entirely on facts and concrete evidence. Queen Emmanuel's Christine Taylor, an attorney for Jones, says in a statement to Variety, our suit claim clearly shows that Jen Abel conspired with Melissa Nathan and others to steal realms of confidential documents, clients, and staff, and eventually attempt to destroy the business that Ms. Jones spent decades building. Abel Nathan, Baldoni, and their co-defendants attempted to achieve these outcomes through bullying, distortion, and outright disparagement. These facts are backed up by dozens of messages provided in the suit we filed months ago and connect cannot be credibly disputed. Having no facts or evidence, we see a familiar playbook. Smear our clients, culminating in the work of fiction masquerading as the counterclaims that were filed yesterday. How did you obtain the text messages? That's the question. Because did you obtain it in the right way? Today's complaint states that just hours after Abel's phone was seized, Sloan called Nathan. During the call, Sloan told Nathan that Sloan had seen Nathan's text messages, which could have only come from Abel's phone, yeah, and that Nathan should expect to be sued. The complaint says Jones had turned over the content of Abel's phone to Lively and a team without a subpoena. So they could slice and dice her communication so to construct a false narrative about the source of Lively's bad publicity. In turning over these materials to Lively, Jones knew fully well Jones knew full well that the blowback would engulf not only Abel but also her clients, Wayfarer and Baldoni. As a result of Jones' malicious scheme, Abel's life has been turned upside down. Her career and reputation have been destroyed, her private information leaked, and her email box and social media pages filled with daily streams of death threats and abuse. Baldoni, Wayfarer, and Nathan were also caught in the crossfire. The complaint says Jones reached out voluntarily to Lively's team, offering what she believed to be ammunition against them, wielding reams of Abel's private communications, with so unscrupulous messaging. Is it not messaging? Massaging and creativity could be sliced, diced, and stripped of context to create a false narrative about them. At the time, an embattled Lively was licking her wounds after a well publicized series of promotional missteps and off putting public appearance that resulted in a cascade of negative publicity. In turning over these materials to Lively, Jones knew full well that the blowback would engulf not only Abel and Nathan but also current Jones' work clients, Wayfarer and Baldoni. But it's the fact that these people just really want to prove that there was a smear campaign and just don't want to believe that people really don't like them. Like they just think that the regular people is not possible for the regular people not to like a celebrity. I'm not understanding. Like really. The complaint details Jones' alleged move to hold Baldoni and Wayfarer to his contract that would expire in 2025. Jones vacillated between insisting that they only speak through lawyers and making erratic and deranged threats to sue, demanding exorbitant payment for work not done, and insisting against evidence that she was doing an amazing job. It says. Although they did not yet know just how far Jones had taken things, Wayfarer and Baldoni considered her behavior to be a material breach of the agreement and advised Jones that they were terminating the works agreement as of the end of August. And there goes the plot. In December 2024, the Wayfarers team finally learned the full extent of Jones' betrayal as a result of Jones' deliberate and unlawful disclosure of their private information, which Lively's team exploited to concoct a false and disturbing narrative about them. Wayfarer and Baldoni had been irrevocably harmed following the coordinated drop of Lively's fantastic CRD Civil Rights Department complaint and an explosive New York Times article. Wayfarer and Baldoni became objects of public scorn and derision. Baldoni has been wrongfully labeled as a sex pest. His accolades has been rescinded and his future projects thrown into doubt. The Same is true of Wayfair, which has been falsely cast as an enabler of sexual misconduct and the architect of a vicious retaliation campaign against a victim of such misconduct. Separately, Wallace had filed a multi-million dollar suit against Lively in federal court for defamation. He claims that he has suffered millions of dollars in his reputational harm after the actress claimed that he unleashed a digital army to malign her back in August. Again, she just can't believe that people don't like her. Right? Stephanie Jones, founder of Jones Work, has a well documented history of highly questionable conduct in the workplace, which the lively parties would have seen with even the smallest amount of online research. Yet they walked right into Ms. Jones' ploy of bitter revenge against her most trusted employee at the expense of our own long term client. Friedman added, "Best of the same feather flock together. We will not stop until our clients are cleared of all wrongdoing and compensated for the vast damages that they have incurred." Bryan Freedman is the man. The legal battle shows no sign of abating. Last month, Lively enlisted Nick Shapiro, the CIA's former direct deputy chief of staff and senior advisor of former director John Brennan, as a crisis PRO specialist. Lively is represented by DC-based attorney Michael Gottlieb, who employed a similar strategy with the actress, as he did with client Drake in his PRO battle with rapper Kendrick Lamar. With that case, Gottlieb first filed a petition in New York Supreme Court rather than a lawsuit that claimed the success of Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us, was due to deceptive practices carried out by UMG, Universal Music Group. Both Drake and Lively have taken a beating in the court of public opinion. Has been dragged, or Drake is also. What is Drake? Drake. Drake. Why are you guys also involving Drake in this? We get it is Drake's lawyer, but Drake's own case should be the other side. The new complaint refers to a truce that had been reached between Lively and Baldoni back in July, which both parties agreeing to stand down in engaging in negative press about the other. But Jones allegedly broke that the tenth, the tenth, the tenth when she defied Baldoni's wishes and engaged with the Daily Mail to get the publication story about Lively fixed. Back in August, news outlets and social media influencers were covering a mysterious feud between Lively and Baldoni that prevented the two from appearing together at joint press events or the film's premiere in August 6. Baldoni and Wayfarer controls the rights to the sequel to the film's prequel, which is based on a Colin Hoover best-selling novel, as is the case with It Ends With Us. Okay, that's the end. But listen, you guys, first of all, let me just say this, right? How did the text messages got revealed? Number one question. But again, see, the fact that they think that people are not going to ask question is insane, because now look at the A Simple Favor or another Simple Favor movie premiere where she's taking photos with another of this co-star, and all people ask question, or people are like, oh yeah, this makes sense, but she did not take photos with another co-star. People ask questions. So if you're not being featured, or you're not in the scene in the photo premiere or whatever with your lead co-star, emphasis on lead co-star, do you think people are not going to ask questions, or do you think people are not going to be curious to know what is going on or what is happening and put one or two things together? But the fact that they just think that the regular people are too dumb to figure it out, or are too dumb to not ask questions, or are too dumb to not like a particular celebrity, is not making sense. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'd love you to share that. You can share other useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.